Hey everyone, Kelly Dean Allen here with you again. Today I'm going to show you how to play Too Late for Love, Def Leppard from Pyromania. We are in standard tuning for this tutorial, and this one goes a little something like this. That 5 times and throwing in little licks and whatnot. So we're starting with an open E string. Just going to let that ring. We've got kind of a light crunch, but we're playing this fairly lightly, right? So you don't want to overdo it with the gain. Open E, and then we're going to take the 2 of the A, slide it into 3, and then grab the 2 of the D string and let those notes ring together. Right, and then you're going to take that 3 of the A, slide it into 5 and 4, and do basically the same thing. Let the 5 and 4 of the A and the D ring together. Right, and then we're going to slide 3 into 5 again of the A, but then you're going to grab the 5 of the D and let those notes ring together. And then back off to 5 and 4, and then back off to 3 and 2. And then you're going to go 3 of the A down to 2 of the D, back to 3 of the A, and then off to open E again. Picking each note. So the first 3 after the open E are slides. Slide, slide, right? And then 3 into 5 slide, no slide, and then no slide. And then repeat. We're going to repeat this 5 times. Now, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th time, we're going to throw little licks in between these riffs, right? That's one of them right there. Open D hammering onto 2, open G, open B, 2 of the high E. Kind of like that, right? Just arpeggiating this little chord here. And then right back to E. Second fill, just a little double stop on the 2 middle strings on the 12s. Ba-na, ba-na. Right back to E again, right? Fill, just a little double stop here on the 12s of the G and the B, little waggle, back to E again, right? And so over that, right, you repeat it once before the vocals come in, and then he sings a verse over it, and then he sings a chorus over the exact same progression. And then he's going to sing another verse when the full band comes in over the same progression, but we're going to play it heavier. Not arpeggiating, right? So we're going to hit an E power chord, and then we're going to drop into that 3 and 2. And when we move it up to 5 and 4, we're going to hit it twice. And then when we drop onto 5 and 5, we're going to hit it once, and then we're going to go back off to 5 and 4 and hit it twice. So kind of like this. Once, once, twice, once, twice, once, twice, and repeat. And then he's going to sing a chorus over it, and we're going to start adding pick strikes. And we're going to have it in groups of 2 and 3. 2, 2, 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 2. Right? As he's singing a chorus over this. So it's 2 E's. And then when we drop into the 3 of the A, 2 of the D, we're going to hit it twice, and when we move it up 2 spots, we're going to hit it 3 times. drop onto the 5s of the A and the D. We're going to hit it twice, back off to 5 and 4 3 times. And then off to 3 and 2 twice, and then off to the E power chord twice. So that's the chorus when we're playing it heavier, right? So the verses and choruses are played over the same progression. Nice and quiet at the beginning, right? 5 times. And then once the band joins, we're playing the same progression for the verse. Kind of like that, once. Once, twice, once, twice, once, twice. And for the chorus, it's 2s and 3s. 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, right? And then we drop into the bridge. There, which we're going to be repeating 4 times. So we're kind of riding along on a palm muted open A string, but we're starting with a little double stop here on the 5s of the 2 middle strings. With a little down up mute. Grab that double stop on the 5s, give it a little waggle. Into that. So we're riding, like I said, we're riding along with an open A. And we're going to start with these little chords on the 2 middle strings. The first one is an A5 chord, 7 and 9 of the D and the G, and then off to just a bar on the 7s. And then you're going to back it up to just a bar on the 5s, and then you're going to go off to 3 and 2 of the 2 middle strings, D and G, move it into 5 and 4. And then finish with a bar on the 5s. Hit that twice, and then the second one a little waggle, right? So like I said, you repeat that 4 times, and then we drop into the solo. And that is the solo right there. We're soloing in the key of E minor, using the E minor pentatonic. For the most part, we do grab that note there out of the minor scale at a couple of occasions, but it's predominantly minor pentatonic work here. We're starting with unison bends. This little box here at the 12th fret, 12 of the B, 14 of the G, like a little double unison bend. And then we're going to rebend that 14. Grab the 15 of the B with your pinky, right back to another bend on that 14. Release the bend off to 12, back onto 14 with a double hit. Kind of like that, and slide out of it, right? Into this. So here's where we're grabbing that note out of the minor scale on the 11 of the G. We're going to go 11 onto 12 of the G. Going to give that a little, kind of a little half step bend. Right, choke it off right back to the natural note at 12. Right back off to 11. And then a little trill between 11 and 12 of the G, finishing on the 12 of the D. Kind of like that, into this. So open D onto 2 of the D, open G onto 2 of the G, right into a full step bend on that 2 of the G, and then you're going to grab the 3 of the B with your pinky, and then right back to that bend, which you're going to release off to open. And then finish with a triple hit on the 2 of the D. Kind of like that. That's about the first half of the solo, right? And then we're into this. Just little double stops on the 12s of the G and the B twice, right? And then dropping onto 14 of the D and repeating twice. Right into this. So we're sliding into 8 of the B onto 10 of the high E, right? And then we're going to just slide that up 4 spots to 12 and 14 of the B and the high E. Right into this. So 12 on the 15 of the B string, full step bend of that 15, right back to the natural note at 15, off to 12. Then you're going to do a little rolling here on the 12s. You're going to roll from the 12 of the B up to the 12 of the G, back to the 12 of the B, and finish on the 14 of the D. Kind of like that. Very clever little lick. And we finish the solo with this. So just hammering on 12 to 14 of the D, 12 on to 14 of the G into a full step bend, and again you're going to grab the 15 with your pinky on the B, right back to the bend on the 14, off to 12, back onto 14, double hit, pull it off to 12, finish on the 14 of the D. Sorry, the double hit is on the 12 of the G. And then pulling 14 off to 12, finishing on the 14 of the G. And that is the solo. So from the beginning, nice and slow. Unison bends. Slide out. Right back to the opening. Nice and quiet. Repeated twice. Right into a chorus. The 2s and 3s, right? Time. Right into another bridge with that little double stop on the 5s, right? Right back into that again for 4 repeats. And then we're into this little interlude that is cut out of the radio edit of this track, but I'm going to show you how to play it. It goes a little something like this. That right there. So E power chord twice into this lick. So 4 of the G string and then 5 off to 4 of the D. And then you're going to do a trill between 4 and 5, finishing on the 5 of the A. Right? And then we're going to go A power chord, B power chord, C power chord. Kind of like that. So we're really just grabbing an open A string and then dropping right into the B power chord, moving it into C. And hitting that C twice, right? into this lick. So we're starting this time on the 5 of the D, rolling it up to 5 of the A, down to 4 of the D, and then again you're going to do a trill between 4 and 5, and then string skip up to the 7 of the low E and slide out of it. Right back to the E power chord. Right, so those are the first 2 licks. And then we're going to repeat the first one. Now the fourth one is going to change. We're going to go A, B, C again. And that's the 4th lick. So we're going to start with the trill, 4 and 5 of the D, grab the 5 of the A, pull it off to open, right back to the 4 of the D, and then up to that 7 of the low E, slide out of it again. And then repeat the first one again. And then A to B to C, and we finish that whole progression with this. Right there. So we're sliding into a 4 of the D, 3 of the B, just back and forth twice, right? Skipping over the G string. Then you're going to slide that into 5 and 5 of the D and B, and then move it up to the 7, 7, and slide out of it. And right back to 2 more E power chords, right? So that's that whole section. Nice and slow. Right, and at this point, after you hit those 2 E power chords to finish that whole section, you're going to do 2 big slides up and down the neck, kind of like that, and then A, B, C, G, D, A, chorus, which just continues with the main riff until fade out. So that little lead into the final chorus is A to B to C to G to D to A. Into the chorus, right? Until fade out, like I said. And there you go. That is how you play Too Late for Love, Def Leppard, Steve Clark, and what's the other guy's name? Phil Collins, and Pete. Their first guitar player played on this as well. And Pete, I can't remember his name. Pete Willis, I believe. And there you go. That's how you play that one. I certainly hope you enjoyed that, found it helpful. If you did, please hit that like button right down there. Maybe drop me a subscribe if you haven't done that already, as that would be very kind. Hope you're well out there, and we will see you next time. Cheers.